Have you ever wondered where the roots of anti-Semitism lie? The origins of anti-Semitism can be traced back to ancient times when Jewish people were often marginalized and persecuted in various societies. They were seen as different, other, and this otherness was often met with suspicion and hostility. Religion played a significant role in fostering anti-Semitism. During the Middle Ages, religious differences were often used as a pretext to marginalize or persecute Jewish people. Jews were frequently scapegoated for societal issues, blamed for everything from economic troubles to political unrest. The situation escalated during catastrophes like the plague, where Jewish communities were often accused of causing the disaster. These instances of persecution were not isolated events, but rather part of a larger pattern of discrimination against Jewish people. The bias was not just societal, but often systemic, ingrained in the laws and customs of the time. The seeds of anti-Semitism were planted early, but they would continue to grow throughout history. But how did these ancient prejudices evolve into the modern form of anti-Semitism we see today? As we venture into the 19th and 20th centuries, the rise of anti-Semitism took a more sinister turn. Jews were frequently blamed during economic crises, used as scapegoats by those unable to comprehend or confront the real issues at hand. Conspiracy theories began to circulate, painting Jews as puppet masters in global affairs. These unfounded stories about Jewish power fed into the fear and hatred, further stoking the flames of anti-Semitism. However, the culmination of centuries of anti-Semitism was the Holocaust, a horrifying genocide that claimed the lives of 6 million Jews. This was not a spontaneous act of violence, but rather a systematic, state-sanctioned campaign of hate, driven by anti-Semitic propaganda and prejudice. The Holocaust was the darkest chapter in the long history of anti-Semitism, but it was far from the end. This grim reminder of humanity's capacity for hate serves as a stark warning for us all. In the wake of the Holocaust, you might expect that anti-Semitism would have been eradicated, so why does it persist in today's world? This is a question many of us grapple with. Anti-Semitism today takes various forms, from the overt to the subtle. Hate crimes targeting Jewish individuals and institutions make headlines, but there's also the less visible, yet equally insidious, discrimination and bias. These can permeate everyday interactions, from work environments to social media platforms. Then there's the complex issue of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's a geopolitical situation that's often misused to justify anti-Semitic attitudes. While it's crucial to differentiate between legitimate criticism of a government's policies and outright prejudice against a religious or ethnic group, the line can often blur, leading to an increase in anti-Semitic sentiments. Despite the lessons of history, anti-Semitism continues to be a pervasive problem. We must strive to understand its forms and origins in order to effectively combat it. Given this grim history, what can be done to combat anti-Semitism? The answer, in a word, is education. Education is a potent tool in combating ignorance and prejudice. It's through learning about the history, the culture, and the contributions of the Jewish people that we can dispel misconceptions and foster understanding. But the responsibility doesn't stop there. Governments worldwide must take a stand, implementing policies that protect against hate crimes and discrimination. Organizations too have a role to play in promoting tolerance and understanding through outreach and advocacy, but perhaps most important is the role of individuals. It's up to each of us to challenge our own biases and prejudices, to speak out when we see or hear anti-Semitic sentiment, and to stand in solidarity with our Jewish neighbors. In the face of anti-Semitism, every voice and action counts. Together, we can help to write a different story for the future.